everybody. Reverend Dr. Red here. You can view my websites at reverenddrred.com and spiritualmessiahministries.org. And again, that is reverenddrred.com if you are interested in seeing what other topics I speak on, and if you would like to see the types of articles I write, where I'm going to be speaking at, and if you want to see the information on how you can book me for an event that you are hosting. And spiritualmessiahministries.org is the ministry that I founded. It is one of the few ministries in this country that are not incorporated and are preaching 100% truth of the Bible without any government stipulations or ultimatums holding us back. Now, to get to the point of the video, as some of you may know, I already spoke about in the past about the SOPA bill, the NDAA, and you are probably aware of a few predictions that I've made which have come true, and another one that we are living through right now. And if you are aware of the predictions that I made, you will also be aware that they were made more than a year ago. A lot of you didn't want to believe me about the predictions that I made. You wanted to call me crazy. You wanted to call everybody else like me who was predicting similar situations falling in line around the same time period that I suggested crazy. You know, you tried to know that we got screws loose. Well, you can't say that now because it actually happened. When I spoke about the NDAA bill, I believe I have two videos specifically about the NDAA. One was just simply talking about it as I was first researching the bill, what exactly it was and what was going on with it. And then I believe there was another one where I actually screamed because the bill was passed along with some other laws that were passed and freedoms that were taken away from us. And I let my emotions get the best of me in that video. And actually, I think aside from my video on the Black Hebrew Israelites, that video was the most popular video. Well, if I need to scream to get my point across to everybody, that's a pretty sad affair. If that be the case, then starting with my next video, and I'll try my hardest to be a little angry and emotional, so I can scream in my video, so that I know the message will get out there. But I shouldn't have to scream to get the point across. I shouldn't have to scream at people in order for you to hear what is going on outside the mainstream media propaganda. You see, the mainstream media is a propaganda machine for the government. That's all it is. A bunch of half-truths and all lies. If you want to know the truth about anything that's going on, you need to look at everything from all possible angles. And sooner or later, you will come to the truth. Now, those of you who are aware of my predictions, you should be taking my message a little serious now that you've seen them unfold right before your eyes. Those of you who are unaware of what my predictions were, you can go to spiritualmessiahministries.org and go to the Bible prophecy page, or spiritualmessiahministries.com and go to the prophecy page. And I have listed there the predictions, and they're all numbered. And below the very last prediction, I have everything numbered again, starting with number one, explaining each of the predictions, how I got to that prediction using current events, history, and the Bible. Those of you who watched my videos on the NDAA bill and the SOPA bill, or at least a video where I was in a screaming rage, you should be taking my message a little bit more seriously, because now you see that exactly what I spoke about, or what I screamed about, unfolded right before your eyes, exactly how I said it was going to happen. Now, considering those videos are rather long, I'm not trying to make this video too long. I'm just going to do a brief run-through of what I said. And I went over with everybody, with all of you, how Hitler took over Germany and made it go from a presidential republic to the dictatorship that it became under his regime. I also compared that to what Obama is doing here in America, step by step. And I then told you all what was going to happen. I mentioned a lot of my fears and what was going to happen with the NDAA bill, the SOPA bill, and a few other things that were going to take place. I also said that, you know, considering the past couple of years, everything that I said happened. I'm a little nervous about saying what I said. And if there was a time I was going to be wrong, I was hoping that would be the time. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't. Exactly what I said happened. It played out exactly the way I said it would. And in the evening of December 31st, 2011, Obama signed the NDAA bill into law, which successfully took down some of the constitutional rights that we have. Approximately half of our Bill of Rights, first 10 amendments of the Constitution, has been officially and successfully suspended due to the NDAA bill. I also went on and mentioned briefly about my fears of what will be coming as far as our freedom of speech. That is going to be attacked. We are no longer going to be allowed to legally say what is on our minds in public. It is going to become against the law to speak your mind. It is going to become against the law to so much as show around in public simply by carrying a Bible or wearing a cross around your neck that you are a Christian. To help illustrate that point, I pointed out several cases from upstate New York to California to Texas to right here in Florida. Literally covering all across the country. Different cases where Christians, for absolutely no reason, were being attacked. Whether it was the fact that they were having friends over their house once a week for Bible study, or the fact that they had a cross erected on their own lawn, or they had erected their own church on their own property that they owned. Not a rental property, they owned the property. Right down to the memorial cross along the highways. I give plenty of examples. And whereas technically here in America you can still get out in public and wear the cross around your neck, But there's numerous corporations that will tell you you have to wear a specific type of uniform or certain dress codes while you're on their time clock. And if you are a Christian and you wear a cross, it is to be on the inside of your uniform or the inside of your clothing while you are on their clock. In other words, while you are working, you are to hide your cross. And you are not allowed to mention anything relevant to the Christian faith while you're at work. That is taking place right now here in America. Numerous corporations and numerous companies are already making that their rules that you have to abide by if you expect to be able to work for them, or if you work for them, if you expect to keep your job. And sooner than late, exactly what I said about becoming illegal to be a Christian in this country is going to happen. It is already becoming illegal to be of the Jewish faith in this country, as we are seeing anti-Semitism on the rise. Our religious freedoms are being taken away from us and are being destroyed. And the only religious entity that stands free inside of these borders of the United States of America is the Muslims. They have a free pass to do as they wish, at whatever time they wish, howsoever they wish to do it. And everyone else of every other faith is on a rather tight leash right now. And that leash is only getting tighter as we are being yanked to the slaughter. And a lot of people are blind to this fact. A lot of people refuse to see this fact. And they're like sheep on the way to slaughter, or cattle on the way to slaughter. They have no clue what's about to happen to them. But that's where we're going. That's where everything is heading. And when they finally get to the slaughterhouse, and they're about to be killed, that's when they're going to open up their eyes and they're going to be like, wait a second, what just happened here? How did this happen? Why are you going to kill me? What did I do wrong? I respect the law. I abide by the laws. I'm not a criminal. Why are you arresting me? How come you're going to kill me? They're only going to be questioning that when they're already in the slaughterhouse and it's too late. And there's nowhere to run. Nothing to do. You're done. The first step of having the freedom of speech taken away from us was the NDAA bill. That was the first step. Now Obama has gone ahead and made it illegal to protest at any location where there's a person of importance. So in other words, if there's Secret Service there because he's going to be at that particular location, and the Secret Service is also going to be there, he's the president, and it's illegal for you to be at that location and hold a protest. You're going to go to jail. And it does not matter if you knew or did not know that he was going to be there at that location, at that time, on that day. Even if you had no clue. You just woke up one day, like it was any other day, and you would have a protest in front of this building over here, for whatever reason. And you had just found out that Secret Service is there guarding somebody of importance, and as you're being slapped the cuffs, it does not matter. You still broke the law, and you are going to jail. And there's rumors floating around right now that I still need to check into to see how true they are. If they're not true now, they will be soon enough. That Obama went ahead and made protesting all in itself, period. Whether there's an important person at that location or not. Whether the Secret Service is protecting somebody in that location or not. Illegal. Which means that it is illegal to hold a protest or a rally anywhere in this nation. Like I said, if that's not true now, it will be soon enough. I still have to look into that myself. But what I will say, there are areas of this nation right now that whether it's legal or not to protest, whether you have the permits or not to protest, they are still going to arrest you. I don't remember the exact date, but it happened approximately a week or two ago. There was a protest going on, and an Iraqi veteran that was speaking out against the war was arrested. A few of the people that were with him at the protest started reciting the Bill of Rights. You know, the first 10 amendments of the United States Constitution? And they too were arrested. Not one of them were read their rights. Not one of them were told why they were arrested. And not one of the officers answered anybody that had a camera on them recording any of this, asking why they're being arrested, what they did wrong. And again, I'm not sure exactly when it took place. We're down in Orlando every Wednesday and Friday, or Wednesday and Saturday, something like that. There's a group that gathers at the park in Orlando, a public park, and they feed the children. Well, it was caught on tape, on camera, where again, there were 3 people behind the table passing out food. The parents were working their children to the table to collect some food, and it was all health food, you know, different fruits and vegetables and whatnot. And out of nowhere, officers can just walk over to the table, go behind the table, and arrested the 3 individuals. And they proceeded to go to walk back into the park, and I believe they arrested approximately 7 additional individuals. Now, I'm not going to name names, but the organization that was doing this is a well-known organization. They've been around at least since I was a kid. So I'm assuming they had the proper permits and everything to be in the park, to do what they were doing. And again, they were arrested for feeding the children 2 days a week. All these children, all these families were poor. They needed the food. This organization was supplying that food. None of them were read their rights, and none of them were told why they're being arrested when they were asked the officers. But all this is playing into Agenda 21 and the free world being destroyed. See, Obama would like to control everything that everyone does. He is trying to force every last American citizen to purchase health insurance that many of us cannot afford. And there are those Americans that are up there in their wealth that simply don't want to waste the money on health insurance. They figure they'll just pay the bill off in one lump sum as they need to. Quite frankly, it is a waste of money paying for health insurance every month if you got that kind of money. They're trying to control everything we do, everything we eat, the whole nine. I don't remember exactly what type of pig it is, but there's this new thing going on now that Obama and his regime are going to be going to all the farms that raise pig. And a certain type of pig, it has to do with the hair color of the pig. I forget what hair color it is. They're going to these farms armed. And any farm that has a certain pig, the pigs are going to be exterminated. And the families who run the farms are going to be arrested for the possession of illegal animals. And the government is trying to make it illegal for people to grow their own food, to eat certain types of food, and to have your own animals for food. Which means no hunting, no fishing, no farming for the average American. Now, I don't know how many of you watching this video can relate, but I live in a backwoods area right now. Plenty of open land, and I actually got a couple of farms down the road from me. You know, a couple of vineyards, cattle farms. I believe there's hunting grounds not that far from me for boars. I believe there's a hunting ground for wild turkey. And a lot of people around here can grow their own food. If they got a big enough yard, they got a small farm in their backyard with various different types of fruits and vegetables grown. They have their own animals. Now me, I live pretty close to the river. Now I haven't gone down there yet to fish myself, but quite a few of my neighbors who also live approximately the same distance from the river as I do, walk down to the river constantly and fish. One of my neighbors has a little farm in his backyard. Another one of my neighbors that recently moved raised his own chickens for meat. He'd raise them up and kill them, clean them up, and cook himself a nice piece of chicken when they were ready. I personally can't see how he can do that, because he was allowing his children to get close to these things as if they were pets. And I just can't see eating your pet. You gotta separate. But anyways, he recently moved to another location and took all the chickens with him. But now, what Obama's trying to do is, technically, my neighbor that moved that had the chickens, my other neighbor that has the farm in his backyard, and both my neighbors who go down to the river here to fish for their own fish, and my one neighbor that actually owns his own land that he hunts on, technically can go to jail because they're breaking the law according to Obama's regime. Because you're not allowed to grow your own food, and you're not allowed to hunt your own food, and you're not allowed to raise your own food. Because you see, the government wants to control our food. And I'm sorry, but right in the Bible, it says that you need salt to survive. It is a necessity for the body to function. And the government's trying to tell us can't consume so much salt. If they're taking it out of all these foods and everything, and they're trying to regulate how much salt we eat. Our body also needs different proteins and sugars and whatnot, which obviously only comes from certain meats and certain fruits and vegetables. Well, now the government's trying to suggest that we can't eat those meats, and we can't have any sugar, or too much sugar. Now they're trying to take sugar out of everything. Trying to eat all diet food. Well, a lot of diet food is more unhealthy for you than if you eat it yourself. Perfect example is soda. You want a soda, drink soda. The diet soda is a lot more unhealthy for you and will actually help you gain weight faster. It's a lot more fattening than regular soda. And the replacement for sugar they have on there in the diet sodas is actually a poison. It's aspartame. Aspartame is a poison. The government literally wants to control the food supply that goes into our mouths, gets digested and pumped through our bodies, so that they know now whichever population, wherever in this country, that they want to do away with, they can, because they can poison the food supply, and it is the only food supply we are allowed to eat. Therefore, we are being poisoned. I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but that is exactly what's going on. They're going to create the problem so that they can fix the problem and make millions of dollars off of it, or in this case, billions of dollars off of it. If you don't want to believe me, look into history. Look at statistics. Review everything that I've said about the NDAA and how that played out before it even happened. Take a look at the predictions that I made and how many of them came true already. And the fact that the next one right in line we're actually living through right now. And I don't remember, I got to check the website if I put up my next prediction or not. But if I didn't, I'm going to have to. Because it's looking like, and the very last prediction, I think I had 9 predictions up there. I don't know if number 10's up there or not yet. But we're living through 9 right now. And I have a prediction of what's going to come next. You know, this is scary times, folks. We're literally watching our freedoms be taken away from us, one by one. And nobody does anything. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's sitting back, relaxing. Well, this isn't going to happen. Everybody's trying to say that the government's going to kill us is a bunch of crazies. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, when you're up there, sitting in a FEMA camp, or a concentration camp, whatever you want to call it, and you're about to be slaughtered, well, I won't be so crazy then, now will I? As far as I can see, things are only going to get worse. They're going to get a lot worse. The only way to get out of the situation is another 1776. That is the only way to fix this. The nation needs to stand up as a whole and get this nation back on track ourselves. Right now we have a runaway government who seems to have forgotten that they work for us. Obama recently said that he doesn't take orders from Congress. He takes his orders from the United Nations and from NATO. He said that Congress is only ceremonial. Really? Not according to the United States Constitution. According to the United States Constitution, Congress is supposed to give orders to the President. We give orders to Congress. Therefore, we give the orders to the President. The President works for us. Not for the United Nations, not for NATO, for the American people. And then there's always that remark Obama made, allegedly not realizing his mic was on. So he'll have more flexibility after he gets reelected. Now, folks, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on here. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what he's planning. Now, one of two things are going to happen, okay? Either A, that we do see an election this year, and Obama wins, or, thanks to this new law Obama just put in, the executive order, that everybody wants to say all he did was update the executive order that Bush and Clinton both did. It was just an update of the executive order from done in 1951. And that's not what it is. It's not a simple update. He changed a lot. But with that executive order, either A, we do see elections this year, and Obama wins, or B, Obama realizes he just might lose this election, so he declares martial law now that he can, during peacetime, do this executive order. And now, granted, normally under martial law, it would be the head of FEMA that's now running the country, but considering Obama is the first president in American history, at least since FEMA's creation, that is also the head of FEMA, under martial law, Obama still has authority over this country. Which means that there is no more elections. The United States Constitution, as well as all elections, are officially suspended until further notice. And Obama is in office permanently. And the United States of America is dead, officially. Either way, the very, very near future is looking very, very grim. I have spoken about what 2012 was going to bring us, and now that we're living through it, just these first couple of months has been a rather bumpy ride. The ending of 2011 was a bumpy ride. Now, I know a lot of you either are just hearing of me through this video now, or just recently heard of me back a couple months ago when I first started doing my videos. Some of you may not have known about me until I started my ministry about a year ago. But many of you know me a lot longer than that. And many of you know that for years I've been making certain predictions. And we've been watching them fall in line, one right after the other. And it's gotten to the point where I'm literally scared to open my mouth, because every time I say something's going to happen, and I try warning everybody about it, it happens. The most frightening example of that so far was Obama's signing of the NDAA bill the evening of December 31st, when everybody's drinking, and then the signing of this executive order on March 16th. as everybody is preparing for the weekend to go out drinking. So now the question is, well, when's the next nationwide drinking holiday, and what kind of stunt is Obama going to pull then? Things are getting grim, folks. Question is, what side are you going to stand on? What side are you on? Because the time to pick sides is now. Me? I'm on the side of freedom, liberty, pursuit of happiness, which all comes from God, which all comes from Jesus Christ. And then there's always the side of Satan and all the personifications Satan has, which would be all of your oppression, your tyranny, genocide. You know, speaking of that, I want to read you something. This isn't the first time in history that something like this has been said. Okay? Just give me a minute here. This is from John. Chapter 8, verses 31 to 38. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And they answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Jesus answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin, and the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth ever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. And that is exactly what is going on here. There are numerous of us out there that are trying to speak the truth to all of you. Both, all the way around. From the biblical truth, the historical truth, the political truth. And when it comes right back down to it, it all winds up being biblical truth. The Bible does cover every aspect of life. And if you peel back the onion peel of society, what you're going to find in the center is the Bible. And we're trying to warn you about what's going to come. There's been different things we've warned you was going to come and was going to happen. And you've watched it happen step by step by step. How we told you it was going to happen. But yet you still continue to sit on your butts, you're in front of your TV screens or you're in front of your computer screens, playing your video games, and calling people like me crazy. Because we have no clue what we're talking about. Now I'm sorry to keep on catching me trying to hide the fact that I'm yawning in this video, but I'm exhausted. I've been up all day, and right now it's about 3:30, quarter to 4 in the morning. And as I'm making this video. When I get done with this video, I'm going to catch maybe an hour's of sleep. And then I got to get up again for today. I'm running long days because I'm trying to warn everybody about what's going on. I'm trying to take care of my ministry. I'm trying to take care of the coalition. I'm trying to counsel everybody that comes to me for counseling. I have my own, errands I gotta run. I still gotta go to the store for myself and take care of my laundry and everything. And as a matter of fact, my tooth is killing me. I haven't been able to make it to the dentist all week. Hopefully I'm gonna get there today. Because I'm taking care of my people. And I'm trying to warn everybody, including you, about what's going to happen. Everything I broke in this video that I told you, that I said, and then you watch it happen, just go back and rewatch the videos or reread the articles or reread my predictions. And everything I said was going to happen in the videos and the articles. Think about whether or not it happened. According to you, whether did it happen. And my predictions, I want you to read those predictions and think about the time slot that I gave each thing to take place. And think about how close to the timing I said each thing would happen, that it actually happened. Not one not come true. All nine of them that I posted so far, the world that I actually posted, you can see that I posted it before the first one was supposed to take place, and they all took place. Every last one of them. We're living through number 9 right now. And if you look at the date that I posted it, it was before the very first one took place. And those are only the ones that I posted. There's predictions that I had before prediction number 1 on the website that I made verbally. And only kept it within my small circle of friends. And all of them can tell you that each of those things happened. If it's not on the website yet, the few people that I told prediction number 10 to, they'll tell you that they're already starting to see it happen. Even though technically we're still on number 9. People like myself that are talking about stuff like this, they're not crazy. Yes, I admit, it does sound a little far-fetched. It does sound a little out there. Some things might even sound a little sci-fi and a little conspiratorial. But if you dig into it, you will see that everything that I state and everything others like me state are all based on hardcore fact. And it's really hard to debate with the facts. You're literally comparing historical and statistical facts to what's going on in the world. It's hard to debate that. It really is. And I understand that many of you don't even want to see it because it goes against everything that you have been raised to believe. I understand that. I've been in my studies for almost 13 years. I've been on some kind of emotional roller coaster ride like you would not believe. Because everything that I've been learning, everything that I've been discovering since I've been in my studies and in this line of work is so far away from what I was raised to believe. And it is so far away from what mainstream society wants you to believe. But the facts are the facts. At the risk of sounding like I took this out of a movie, I've been unplugged. I am no longer in the Matrix. I see the world for what it is. And I'm trying to do my job to wake up each and every one of you. It is my job as a minister of Christ, as a defender of truth, to track down my brethren and to bring them home. And that is all that I'm trying to do. And a lot of you out there are my brothers and sisters in Christ, whether you call yourselves Christian or not. You are my brothers and sisters in Christ. It is my job to make sure that you and your children and your families survive what is coming. It is my job to make sure that you are ready for the second coming of Christ. It is my job to make sure that you are prepared for what is coming. Because what is coming is as much a physical battle as it is a spiritual battle. And I want to say the battle's already begun, but we really haven't seen anything yet. It's going to get a lot worse. And I do mean a lot worse. Another thing I want to let you all know about, considering this video is the truth about our freedom. There is a racial genocide going on in this country, but it's not the racial genocide the mainstream media can like you to believe it is. What we are witnessing is the genocide of the white race, but not just here in America, globally. And how it's being played out here in America is, well, mainstream media, like I said in my last video, is all up in arms about this Trayvon Martin versus George Zimmerman case. And they're doing their damnedest to show that Trayvon Martin was this sweet, innocent little boy. Meanwhile, he was a 17-year-old thug with tattoos and a gold plate for his teeth. And his so-called friends ransacked a Walgreens. And we're supposed to believe that George Zimmerman is a Nazi racist that shot him only because he was black, even though Zimmerman is part Hispanic. So there isn't any Nazi organization that I know of that will allow him in to their ranks because of the fact he has Hispanic blood in him. But like I said in the video, if you weigh out the facts of what the facts are against what the mainstream media is telling you, you kind of see that the mainstream media is a bunch of propaganda and buys lies. But have you seen anywhere in the mainstream media, whether it be the TV networks or the newspapers, about the white kid that got beat up by 20 blacks at a festival? Have you seen anywhere about the 13-year-old white kid that got set on fire by the two 16-year-old black kids? Now they're screaming out racial slurs to him, calling him a cracker. Have you heard anything about the fact that a gang of blacks gang raped a white girl and bruised her up pretty good, screaming that she's a cracker and that she actually deserves that, allegedly for what her father did to them. Have you heard any stories in the news about the blacks against the whites? No. You're only hearing about what they're trying to push off as whites against the blacks. Anything that can turn into a white racist type of case. That's the only ones you're going to hear about. You're not going to hear about any of the black crimes against the whites. And if you look at statistics, like I said in my last video, there are more crimes of blacks against whites than there are whites against blacks. And if you look at statistics, technically, what the mainstream media is trying to call minorities is wrong. Because going by statistics, the white man is the minority of America. Not only America, of the entire planet as a whole. Globally, only 2.7%. 2.7% of the global population is white. Everybody else is your blacks, your Hispanics, your Asians. And you have 2.7% of the global population is white. They are trying to do away with the white race. One way of doing it is using the media to make the white man out like the bad guy. And if you've been watching the videos from the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, about their See Something, Say Something campaign, you will see that in each and every video. And it is the white man that is the alleged terrorist, and it is always the black man. And I think in one of the videos it was actually a Muslim that is perceived as the hero. So the white man is being perceived as the terrorist here, as the bad guy. We need to eradicate the white man. We need to eradicate the Christians. And we need to eradicate the Jews. Now, aside from the whole white thing, that's the same thing that Hitler did in Germany. In Germany, it was the Catholics and the Jews. It was the Catholics before it was the Jews. How many of you people knew that? Look it up. And the first ones that were attacked was the Catholics, not the Jews. Yes, the Jews had a higher death rate inside Hitler's regime, but the Catholics were attacked first. And what do we see happening over here in America? The Catholic Church and the Christian Church as a whole is being attacked. The Jewish people are being attacked. And the white race is being attacked. You can think this is all conspiratorial. You can think I'm crazy. But before you go ahead and brush me off as crazy and brush this off as a giant conspiracy theory, I want you to do your own due diligence and look it up for yourself. Look at the statistics. Look at the historical facts. And compare that to what is happening right here, right now. And when everything happens in the way that so many of us are telling you it's going to happen, well, by then it'll be too late. Yeah, I could turn around and look into everybody else, turn around and tell you, well, we told you so. We can turn around and help you, like we're trying to do now. And you can turn around and decide that we're telling the truth finally, and side with us. Unfortunately, by then it's going to be too late. By then, chances are you, as well as all of us, are going to be in concentration camps on our way into slaughter. There's only one way to ensure that a free world remains. There's only one way to ensure we keep our freedoms. There's only one way to make sure the United States of America stays the United States of America and does not become the United Socialist States of America. Only one way. You know what that way is. But what are you going to do? You're not going to sign any petitions because you're scared that's going to put you on their watch list. You're not going to go to any rallies or protests because you're scared you're going to get arrested. And when the violence finally comes to the streets, you're going to lock yourself in the house until the street gangs break in and kill you. Why? Because you're scared you might get arrested or you might get shot dead. I've got news for you. Everything anybody does is already being watched. You see, your cell phone tracks everywhere you go. A lot of these newer cars have tracking devices built right into them called Lone Star. Tracking you wherever you go. They're making these new devices now where your appliances, okay, your toaster oven, your refrigerator, your television, your dryer, will be keeping tabs on you. They're implanting these chips into the newer devices. Outside your home, 97% of the time you were on a camera. 97% of the time you were outside your home, you're on camera. And they have these really neat things to put on bomb planes where they fly over your house, and they can actually X-ray your house, and they can see where everything is, where everybody in your home is, and they also got these little things in average, everyday, normal-looking box trucks, unmarked box trucks, that they'll drive up and down the streets of your community with. And if you see them going real slow down the side streets, it's because they're scanning the homes. It's literally going X-raying right through the walls to see everything inside your home. And if you have any weapons in your home, whether it be swords, daggers, guns, ammunition, they're going to know about it, and they're going to keep tabs of where you have it stored, how much you have, and they're going to use that to determine how much of a threat you're going to be. And they're going to use that to determine how far up on the list you're going to be placed. So before they implement martial law, before they implement the New World Order, when they make all these arrests, because these arrests will be made about approximately 2 weeks before they actually openly declare martial law. And everybody on this red list is going to be taken in a 2-week time frame. Their houses are going to be busted in around 4 o'clock in the morning. Now you're going to sit here and tell me that can't happen. Well, in a sense, it's already begun. I forget what neighborhood it was, but it was a rich neighborhood. I mean, rich. You're talking people that are making $400,000 or $500,000 a year or more, and they all had weapons. The National Guard was actually ordered to quarantine off this entire community, and block by block, enter the homes, handcuff the inhabitants of the homes, and sit them outside the home on the curb, and go in and confiscate all of their weapons. That actually happened. Look it up. Now, so some are going to say that that was a test run for what they're going to do, and I'm going to agree. And there's a lot of military personnel and a lot of law enforcement that are on the inside that are seeing all this being planned out and being initiated. And they're speaking out about it. And they're all trying to warn you about it. But because the government's now going to turn around and label these people with all these different mental disorders, up to and including post-traumatic stress disorder, you're going to say, well, okay, well, they're crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. So now everything that these military vets and law enforcement officers know firsthand to be fact, and they are trying to warn you about it, you're going to brush off because the government decided to label them as crazy. And then one day that day is going to come, and your door is going to be knocked in. You are going to be arrested, and your weapons are going to be confiscated. Of course, by then it's going to be too late to tell me that, you know, I'm right. You should have listened to me. Because now there's nothing you can do. You can't fight back now. This isn't a battle, you know, we can fight alone. It doesn't matter how much ammunition, how much weapons, and how much food and supplies I have for myself, or how much weapons, ammunition, food, and supplies you have for yourself. Because on an individual level, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be effective. The truth of the matter is, if we're going to pull this off, I need to combine my weapons, my ammunition, and my food and supplies with yours. You need to combine yours with your neighbors. And your neighbor needs to combine theirs with their neighbors. And so on and so forth. Until we have this giant, nationwide network of patriot Americans that are not going to allow the government to take our rights away from us, and that are not going to allow the government to bash in our doors and tell us how to raise our children, what we can and can't eat, what we can and can't do when, and if we can work, where we can work, and what our position at work is going to be. Because we are in charge of our own lives, and we are going to raise our own children. And we're going to eat when we want to eat, when we want to eat it. And we're going to work where we want to work, and try to achieve the position within that company that we would like to see ourselves at. That is the only way we are going to stop tyranny in its tracks. That is the only way that this fight is going to be won. We need to band together. Excuse me. We need to realize that we cannot do this alone. I need you. You need your neighbor. Your neighbor needs their neighbor. We need each other to survive. If it keeps on going as it's going, we are looking at disaster. We are looking at complete racial genocide of the white race. We're looking at complete racial genocide of the Jews. And we're looking at complete genocide of the entire Christian faith. Folks, the time has come to pick sides. There's only two sides. There's siding with the Lord Jesus Christ, and there's siding with Satan. Jesus Christ stands for freedom and all of our God-given rights the United States Constitution was supposed to protect. And the current regime is willingly and unlawfully destroying. And then there's siding with Satan, which stands for tyranny and oppression. If you ask me, the choice is obvious. You want to side with freedom? Join Jesus Christ's army. Do as he said, and grab your sword. You don't got a sword? Well, do as Jesus said. If you have to, sell the cloth off your back and take that money to buy one. Now I got mine. I got a little one, probably technically classified as a dagger, not really a sword. And that goes with me wherever I go. I don't have it with me in this room, but it's here with me now. It's with me at home. It's with me in my car. It's with me when I'm out shopping. It's with me when I go to rallies. And I have plenty of toys. I'm going to be getting plenty more. I want to make sure I have my protection for me and my people. I want to make sure that if no one else follows, and that if no one else believes me and stands up for their freedom, that at least this community here, if they don't already own a gun, which a lot of them do, and even don't want a gun, I want to make sure that even with one, at least one in my hands, I got another one I can put in someone else's hands. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to get ugly. If you want to avoid it getting ugly, then sign the petitions. Go to the rallies, go to the protests, get these career politicians out of office. And there's an impeachment process going on right now to get Obama impeached. Make sure he gets impeached. If he doesn't get impeached, watch out for martial law. And please, pass the word on. And keep in mind, to sit there and do nothing is the same as putting a bullet in your family's head. You are responsible for the death of your family when it happens, if you are going to sit there and do nothing. So I suggest you spread this video, spread my other videos, do your own due diligence and research this in the subject matter. Take a cold, hard look at what's going on out in the world and what's going on in this country. And make your voice heard. But do not continue to sit there and do nothing. Because when the day comes and you find out that your family has been taken in and slaughtered, and that you're next, you will have nobody to blame but yourself. This is not a game. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is truth. Our freedoms are at risk. Our freedom is being corroded away, bit by bit, piece by piece. We are literally about to see hell on earth. And what are you doing about it? Absolutely nothing. Is that how you want to be remembered? For doing nothing? For not trying to save your family? You mind that guy everybody looks at you? As a worthless piece of nothing? Is that how you want to be remembered? Should the people wind up free again someday? As the man who did nothing and allowed tyranny and oppression to come about his people? Or better yet, is that how you want to stand before the man on Judgment Day? Do you really think Jesus Christ is going to take lightly somebody trying to proclaim themselves to be a Christian, but will allow themselves to buy into the satanic nonsense? He told us what was going to happen. He told us what was coming. And he told us not to play into it. So stop. The last day hasn't happened yet. We're all still alive and breathing, aren't we? You're still here in the physical realm, in the flesh, watching this video, which means the last day has not come yet. So you still have time to correct yourself. Repent your sins, and ask Jesus for forgiveness, and get behind him. He will protect you. He will help you. But first, you have to be willing to help yourself. You can't help others if you don't know how to help yourself. As we're sitting here watching history repeat, let's not see it go all the way. I really do not want to see a second version, a more drastic, more horrific version of Nazi Germany. Things are going to get bad. And yes, Jesus does say that everything will be fine in the end. But that does not mean to sit there and do nothing and wait. Everybody has their role to play. If you don't do your part, things are going to get messed up. Everybody has a part to play. You want the outcome Jesus promised us to be the outcome? do what you can to make it happen. You want his return to come? You want to see peace and prosperity? You want to see all this destruction to stop? You want to see these wars go away? You want to see these diseases go away? Then do your part. Get up off the couch. Get up from behind your TV screen, your computer screen, and speak up. Do your part. Show Jesus Christ your faith in him. Show him you are willing to do what it takes to defend him and to defend your people. We are all in this together. None of us can do this alone. And nobody can do it without Jesus Christ. Well, I'm standing with Jesus Christ. This ministry is standing with Jesus Christ. The Spiritual Truth Coalition is standing with Jesus Christ. All the member ministries of the Truth Coalition are standing with Jesus Christ. We're all standing with freedom. We're ready for this battle. The question is, are you? Are you ready for this coming battle? Are you on the side of freedom? Are you standing with Jesus Christ? It's not too late. But it is time to choose your side. Don't wait any longer to pick a side. If you wait any longer, it will be too late. If you want your freedoms, if you want this country back, it is time to pick a side. It is time we all stick together as a nation and show the current regime that we mean business. And we are going to take our country back. We will reinstate the United States Constitution. And we are only going to put people in office that understand they're there for us, not for them. Now this video is roughly an hour and 20 minutes long, and it's probably somewhere around 4:30 in the morning right now, which means I'm only going to get approximately half hour, 45 minutes of sleep. I'm going to cut this video here. I probably could go longer, but I'll save that for another video. Remember what I said. And please, if you want to get in contact with me to discuss, to see the topics that I speak about, and to discuss me speaking at an event you are hosting, you can go to reverend.red.com. You can also get the links to my Facebook page, as well as all my contact information from that website. If you would like to see more information about the ministry, as well as what is going on in this country, and how exactly it fits into the Bible, where the Bible told us and warned us of these events, you can go to spiritualmessiahministries.org, or spiritualmessiahministries.com. If you go to spiritualmessiahministries.org, aside from seeing contact information for the ministry and for the coalition, you will also see links for the Spiritual Truth Coalition Facebook group page and the fan page for the ministry. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. God bless.